appreciate for the idea. I did have another like ocean video made, but like I told Jimmy, I felt like a lot of the facts were already being said by other channels, and like I always say, whenever there's facts being said by other channels, I just don't really want to be doing the same content as them. But I was able to find some really interesting facts, and you know, I'm actually I guess glad that I'm making this video because I found a lot of like random stuff out, and I probably even have enough to do a part 2, so I might do a part 2 for this just because there's a lot of facts out there for like the ocean, or like deep sea. I said deep. There's a lot of facts for deep sea. Yeah, deep sea facts. There's a lot of facts for deep sea facts. But anyways, I just want to give a huge shout out to you, Jimmy. Thank you for the request. Huge shout out to aquatic toxicologist again for commenting on the last video. Shabor, appreciate the comment. And for Diamond Dust, a new subscriber, I just want to say welcome to my channel. Appreciate the comment. I'm glad you found my channel, and I hope you can stay and enjoy the content that I will make in the future. If you are a new subscriber, or if you're thinking of subscribing to this channel, I really appreciate it. Drop a comment and I can shout you out next video. And just thank you all, everybody that liked the video, commented, subscribed, everything. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and I do this for you guys, so thank you so much. And with that being said, let's get right into this video. Alright, also I had an idea, so I'm gonna probably make 2 separate videos. One is gonna be just, I guess, my voice, and then the second video I am going to make with ocean, like probably like ocean wave sound, stuff like that. Hopefully that kind of makes it a little bit more relaxing. So yeah, be aware of that. I'm dropping 2 videos. If this is the video with the ocean sounds and you don't like it, there is one without it. So yeah, that's the second thing I want to talk about. So let's get right into the facts. Sorry it took too long. So number 1 says, deep sea species tend to be slow growing, late maturing, and low in reproductive capacity. Many deep water fish species live 30 years or more. Some, such as the orange ruffy, I think I said it correctly, the orange ruffy can live up to 150 years. Number 2 says, because deep sea species live in rarely disturbed environments and tend to be slow growing, late maturing, and endemic, they're exceptionally vulnerable to extinction. And that's pretty interesting, because if you think about it, a lot of these animals, we are barely getting information. We're barely getting information of these animals. So that's really interesting to think that there could be more crazy animals and they're in the verge of extinction, or they're already being extinct. As well as this isn't a fact, but I found this while I was doing research, that people go deep sea diving and they'll see trash and pollution at the very bottom of our oceans. So some of these animals that are in the deep sea could be dying due to that garbage that we are throwing into our oceans, and they could be really, really interesting animals, and we would never know it because they're dying off. Alright, so fact number 3 says, life forms living near hydrothermal vents, unlike any other life forms on Earth, do not rely on photosynthesis photosynthesis and the sun for their energy, but on chemicals coming from beneath the surface of the earth. Fact number 4. It's possible to find rivers and lakes beneath the ocean. When salt water and hydrogen sulfide combine, it becomes denser than the rest of the water around it, enabling it to form a lake or river that flows beneath the sea. Number 5 says, not only does a large part of the planet exist beneath the ocean, so does the United States. Around 50%, in fact, is underwater. And I'll post a picture of, the United States that's underwater. A lot of it is in Alaska, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I never knew that at all. Number 6 says, it turns out humans aren't the only creatures in need of a winter vacation. In 2002, scientists discovered an area in a remote part of the Pacific Ocean between Baja California and Hawaii, where typically coastal great white sharks will migrate to in the winter. The scientists named the spot the White Shark Cafe, and some sharks hang around the area for months before heading back to the coast for warm weather. Number 7 says, a large iceberg from Antarctica contains more than 20 billion gallons of water, which could conceivably supply 1 million people with drinking water for 5 years. But this piece of information isn't just a great way to illustrate how massive these icebergs are. A company in the UAE, is actually planning to begin towing icebergs from Antarctica to the coast for exactly this reason. The country receives on average just 4 inches of rainfall each year and is at risk of serious drought in the next 25 years. But they may be able to solve this problem with this iceberg water solution. Cold air gushing from a potential iceberg close to the shores of the Arabian Sea could cause rainstorms across the Arabian Gulf and the southern region of the Arabian Peninsula all year round if the glaciers persist. The National Advisor Bureau Limited explained during the project's launch last year. The icebergs are expected to have a growing cumulative impact, causing a significantly large-scale and rapid climate change. Moreover, having icebergs off the coast of Fujairah will become a massive and unique tourist attraction and will contribute to cool the East Coast and transform the UAE desert into thriving green meadows within a decade. The melting icebergs will also release fresh water into the Arabian Sea, helping restore the ecological balance and reduce salinity of the sea. An iceberg contains somewhere around 20 billion gallons of fresh water. Because I read that with the desalination they're doing, they're just putting out more salt into their own water, as well as it's a lot of money and a lot of work. So bringing in these icebergs would be cheaper, but that's if it works. Either way, they're calculating whenever they move that iceberg from wherever they need, from Antarctica or to the UAE, it will be a long process. I forget how many months it takes for it to arrive. I want to say 6 months. It's somewhere around there. But either way, while they're moving it, the iceberg will lose about 30% of its mass on the way there. Number 8 says, the tallest underwater waterfall is between Greenland and Iceland, formed by the temperature difference in the water on either side of the strait. When the cold water from the east hits the warmer water from the west, it flows underneath the warm water with a drop of 11,000 recently found with the help of a Spanish fisherman. Thanks to millions of shipwrecks, the ocean houses countless treasures of artifacts. National Geographic estimates that there are more treasures on the bottom of the ocean than in all of the world's museums combined. Which is crazy, but super cool. From the Titanic to Christopher Columbus's Santa Maria, the oceans are home to around 3 million shipwrecks. Because so little of the ocean has been explored, it is currently estimated that 91% of the species that exist under the sea have yet to be discovered. Okay, so this one's gonna be a bit of a long fact. So if I ever imagined the scenario where you would be stuck in the middle of the ocean, you would never want to get stuck in a remote place in the South Pacific. It is dubbed Point Nemo, Latin for no one. The area is about 1,600 kilometers from the nearest strip of land and around 2,700 kilometers from the nearest inhabited landmass. Point Nemo is so far from land, the nearest humans are often astronauts. The International Space Station orbits the Earth at a maximum of 258 miles. Point Nemo is considered to be the most remote place in the world. It is also used as a space cemetery. Space agencies use it as a dumping ground, and it's estimated more than 100 spacecrafts are lying beneath the surface there. Number 14 says there's a web of cables under the ocean. Communication companies maintain international connections via these cables. As you probably imagine, laying these cables is slow, expensive, and tedious work. However, these hundreds of thousands of miles of cables are very important, as they are responsible for the transmission of 99% of the world's data. Installed by specialized boats called cable layers, these undersea cables are located on the ocean floor's flat surfaces, avoiding things like coral reefs, sunken ships, fish beds, and other ecological habitats, and general obstructions. Even more so, the cables have to be designed to last in a difficult environment and are durable enough to withstand the occasional nibble from sharks. Meanwhile, the world's first underwater Wi-Fi was set up recently. Fact number 15 talks about the Bermuda Triangle, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are aware of because it's like a whole the Bermuda Triangle has just so many stories that come with it. But it says this 500,000 square mile area of the Atlantic Ocean is steeped in terrifying mystery and folklore. As the legend goes, once a ship or vessel entered the triangle, they'll be lucky if they ever see the light of day again. The most chilling case of these mysterious disappearances occurred when the USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long Navy cargo ship with over 300 men and 10,000 tons of manganese were on board, sank somewhere in the triangle. The captain didn't even find the time to send out an SOS signal. After exactly 100 years of endless searching, the cargo ship is still nowhere to be found. And there are some theories of what happened, like the ship getting taken over, or I believe there was one saying that the captain was in on it, and another one was saying that the amount of with that and then the rough waves, it sunk the ship. So yeah, there's a couple of things, a couple of different theories to what happened. Okay, so there is a spider that is called I believe it's called the Argyroneta aquatica, and it captures a bubble from the surface of the water, trapping the air in its web, and simply breathes it in. The makeshift guild can keep the spider alive indefinitely with only occasional visits to the surface. So, if you thought that you only had to worry about certain things like sharks and jellyfish and other weird things that live in the ocean and deep in the sea, you can add spiders to that. There's no getting away from those spiders. Fact number 17 says, about 40 feet down in Lake Michigan's Grand Traverse Bay, archaeologists discovered a pattern of mysterious placed stones, eerily reminiscent of England's iconic Stonehenge. Among the stones was a boulder with a prehistoric carving that scientists believe were made during the Ice Age about 10,000 years ago. Makes you think what other kind of past civilization artifacts are hidden underwater or were drowned out by rising sea levels and stuff like that. Fact number 18 says, in 1909, a luxury liner called the RMS Republic collided with another ship and sunk 50 miles off the coast of Nantucket, Massachusetts, taking with it 3 million in gold coins, a treasure that would be worth more than $1 billion today. Though it's hard to imagine the coins could be anywhere else but at the floor of the ocean, they have never been recovered. And it's not for lack of trying. A former resident of the island has made it his life mission to find the fortune, and the History Channel has even documented his thus far fruitless mission. So he has not been able to find it, but wow, imagine, I don't know if that was an old fact or if it's something newer, but I mean, if you find that and you become a billionaire, hats off to you. Fact number 19 says, many of the creatures that live in and below the Twilight Zone can create their own light from a chemical reaction in their bodies called bioluminescence. In the deepest parts of the ocean, this eerie glow is the only light. And number 20 goes to the ugliest animal in the world, aka the blobfish. And this fact kind of is kind of a backup for the blobfish. Kind of everybody says the blobfish is the ugliest fish in the world, but here is the reason why they're probably not the ugliest fish in the world. Blobfish aren't exactly scary until you realize that they are not supposed to look like this. And I'll put a picture so you guys are able to see what I'm talking about. I actually put a couple different pictures relating to this video during the video. They're adapted to living in deep underwater. They have no bones, and the only thing holding them together is the force of the water. When a blobfish reaches the surface, their bodies can't handle the lack of pressure. are supposed to look like. We've never photographed them in their natural habitat. They could be a perfectly normal fish until we bring them to the surface. No wonder they look so sad. So I apologize that you have to look at this image of what they actually look like when they're above the surface, but I'll put a picture of what they look like whenever they're in their natural habitat. They look like regular everyday fish. Kind of look like puffer fish, if I'm being honest. But that's because you gotta remember the pressure under, like the lower you get it in the sea, the more the pressure is. And once you get to like that twilight zone area, like if you were to get to all the way at the bottom of the sea, the pressure would literally crush you. You would not be able to resist that. That's another reason why not so many people have visited under the sea, like all the way to the bottom. There's probably been like maybe 3 people or so that have visited the bottom of the sea, and the ships, they have to be able to support all that pressure, and some even will start to make noise. They'll start to collapse in on themselves. So yeah, but you know, that's a story. That's a different fact. You know, I'll leave that for part 2. But anyways, yeah, that's for the next video. You know, we'll leave all this talk for next video. But yeah, anyways, I think that's it. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. Next video we can continue, and if there's more, we'll make more and more videos, of course. Anyways, again, shout out to Jimmy for recommending this video. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm glad you know he asked for it. Shout out to all you guys for commenting on my last video. Shout out whoever's gonna comment on this one. If you're watching this, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I hope you and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. But I hope that I could help you sleep or help you relax. And if I did, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down here. I love talking to you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love the support. Thank you so much. And with that being said, I'll let you guys go. You guys have a wonderful night. Sleep well. If you're not sleeping, have a wonderful night or have a wonderful day. And I will see you next time.